Have you ever washed a rental car? Probably not. I mean, why would you? It's not yours. Why would you want to spend your time and money on something you don't own?
To see through the windshield, maybe? What, was the windshield washer broken?
It worked fine till the fluid ran out. It's human nature to value what we own more than what we don't own. If we have a personal stake in something, we invest ourselves in it. If this had been my car, I would have washed it. Heck, I would have waxed it too. But it's not my car. So I held back. I did the minimum. I only did what I had to do. And what's true of rental cars is true of everything in life. If we don't own it, we tend to hold back. We do the minimum. We only do what we have to do. You know, if you do your job that way, the consequences are a lot worse than a dirty car. If you do your job that way, you fail. And so does your company, your community, maybe even your entire country.
Consider this lesson from history. In the 1920s, Joseph Stalin removed millions of farmers from their land and forced them onto large collective farms. Stripped of their property and any individual incentive, they produced only a fraction of the grain they once had, and millions of Russians starved to death as a result. Meanwhile, all industry and commerce was taken over by the state. As private ownership ceased to exist, so did productivity. Only the Nazi invasion in 1941 temporarily rallied the nation. After the war, things slowly ground to a halt once again, and by the 1980s, the Soviet system crumbled, both ideologically and economically, largely because the population of nearly one-third of the world had permitted terror and bureaucracy to rob them of any personal stake in what they did.
Even when the goals are lofty, if you give up responsibility for what you do and how you do it, your job becomes a rental car. On the other hand, when you take back responsibility for what you do and how you do it, heroic things are possible, even against long odds.
After Pearl Harbor was attacked in 1941, building an Army, Navy, and Air Force capable of responding to both Japan and Germany seemed impossible for a nation still in the grip of the Great Depression. Franklin Roosevelt was urged by his advisors to nationalize war-related industries. He wisely resisted that advice and trusted the American people instead. During the war years, each individual CEO, manager, shop foreman, mill hand, and wrench turner knew the goal, understood the part they played, and felt a great personal stake in achieving it. Many of the heroes of that war served not on battlefields, but in offices, mills, factories, and docks. Their jobs weren't rental cars, they owned their jobs, and they freely invested their time, talent, and energy in doing them 7 days a week until VJ Day. No matter what they did for a living, their real job was winning the war and making the world a better place.
So how about you? Do you own your job, or is it a rental car? Are you just working for the check, or are you working to make the world a better place? Well, that may sound